Hi, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to do simple vehicle checks before you get moving, probably in the morning. So it's a good practice because it will help you probably spot problems that you might not have known of, and it's a very good way of doing a preventive maintenance, in that we prevent a problem before it occurs. So that's the best way of taking care of machines, preventive maintenance. So it's a good practice, and once you get used to this, it will really help you to avoid problems that are very simple. So let's go. Today I'm going to use a Mercedes-Benz E230 with an M111 engine. So for those who own this particular vehicle or older models of Mercedes-Benzes, I think it will be very simple for you. Thank you. So here we go. So for those who own this particular model of Mercedes, for you to pop the hood or open the bonnet, you just go below the below the steering wheel on the driver's side. Then you'll find yes, the red latch, and you pull it. For other Mercedes-Benzes, the latch is on the passenger side of the vehicle. So yes, and for others also, it's on the left side. This other side, it's on the left side below the below the steering wheel. So for this one, it's on the right side under the steering wheel. So let's go. So welcome back, and here is the engine bay, or the engine compartment. We've opened the hood. So what you want to do with this particular engine, you want to look at the dipstick. So the engine oil level dipstick is right here on the right side. Yes. So you just want to pull this out and clean it, right? So before you do anything, make sure you warm the vehicle for probably a minute or so. Switch it off, then do these particular tests. So once you take your dipstick, right, you clean the dipstick before you do the measurement, right? Here we go. Yes, so I've cleaned the dipstick, and it's clean, as you can see. Before you do this, make sure your vehicle is also on a level ground. That will give you the correct measurement, rather than where the vehicle was on a slope or not level ground. So here we go. Put the dipstick back on the place, dip it down all through, then pull it back. So you need to check. Don't hold the dipstick up like this or down, but rather put it in a horizontal kind of position, not to interfere with the readings. Now the red, let me just put this down because I'm alone, so I have to explain to you. So you want your oil level reading to be between this lower reading and upper reading. So you want your oil level to be in between there, but it's recommended that you fill to the full position. So when you're at three quarter, it's okay. When you're at half, it's okay. But now make sure that you top up to the full level. So like this dipstick indicates very well. I think you can see that arrow. Yes, so this is the full or maximum. Then here is the minimum or minimum. So you want your oil level to be in between there. You can see the oil. So I'm getting a rating of almost maximum. So this is okay, but I'll top up for it to go to the maximum position. Yes. And so with that, you've checked the oil level. Then you can come and check your brake fluid level. So the brake fluid reservoir also has markings. So you can see that is max. that is mean maximum and minimum. So you always want to take your brake, you always want to keep your brake level to maximum. So if it's anything below that, top up the maximum. And here is just a little bit of advice when you're topping up your brake fluid, right? So you notice that this cup has a lot of writings, but here they say use only .4 fluid from sealed container. So let me just summarize this. We have DOT is the Department of Transport. It's a U.S. department. It's a U.S. department which is responsible for probably setting standards on certain particular requirements in terms of motor vehicles. So for the brake fluid in the US or probably in the West, Department of Transport is tasked with the responsibility to determine this particular standard. So this is, for example, this is .4. So different vehicle manufacturers recommend different brake fluid specifications and standards. So .4 is probably a rating to show you the quality and the level of efficiency of your brake fluid. So we have from .1 to nowadays we have up to .5. So .5, this is a high performance brake fluid, probably recommended for high performance vehicles like rallying vehicles and the likes. So you want to check your cup and look at that. So if you see they do .4, make sure as you buy the brake fluid it is .4. Don't use a .3 on a .4 recommended brake fluid. Don't use a .2 in a .4 recommended vehicles. But for a .4 you can use a .5. Only if you don't get a .4. So if you see .4, use .4. If you see .3, use a .3. If you see .2, .1, anyway, those are all very old standards, and probably modern vehicles just use from .3 to .5. So take note of that also. So from there, you want to come and check your coolant level, and for this particular vehicle, we have a reservoir on the right side of the car. So don't get confused. When you stand in front of the vehicle, my left hand, this is my left hand. So this is the right side of the car. And my right hand here shows the left hand of the car. So the side of the particular side of the vehicle is given from when you're sitting on the steering wheel and facing in front of the car. So when I say right side, is not my right, but the right hand side of the car, right? So don't get confused. So this particular reservoir is in this side, and well, you won't clearly see the markings, but this particular ridge will give you an idea of where the maximum is. So for most reservoirs, you'll see also the maximum written or minimum or full, low written. So for this particular ridge is the maximum. So check that level. You can just open the reservoir, check where your fluid level is at, and do that. Well, so many people still use water as coolant. So I'm going to talk about this as an African. Well, old engines, the particular coolant was water. When vehicles were being developed in the 60s, probably 50s, right? So water was the particular coolant. That's why we still have we call it a water pump. We still call it water pump. We don't call it a coolant pump, we call it a water pump, because water was the coolant that was used when motor vehicle technology was just developing. but it's recommended that you use a coolant, yeah, for your engines, because again, engine coolants have additives and chemicals that prevent rusting of your water jackets, rusting of your radiator, and rusting of your water lines. So it's recommended that you use coolants. Well, the topic on coolant is also very long, so I'm going to summarize it. And nowadays you see coolants. So after you check your coolant level, you can come and check your wiper washer fluid level. So yes, so because the wiper washer is water, just clean water. Check that and fill it to maximum level. It's good. This car says 5.5 liters. So yeah, well, most cars won't give you the amount, but just fill it to maximum level. So basically, the other check, you want to check your power steering fluid level. So for this particular car, this is the reservoir. So you just want to pull that up. And again, from this one you have markings, right? You'll see, it's not very clear, but you'll get what I mean. There are markings. So for most of these, you get 4 markings, where you get minimum hot, minimum cold, maximum hot, and maximum cold. So these are just particular markings to tell you if you're probably, for example, measuring, taking the measurements when the engine is cold. So it will give you a cold minimum level that you need, or a cold maximum level. And when you're checking the level when the engine is hot, it will give you, yes, same. So after checking that, you just want to check basically your engine, if it has any signs of leakages, right? Look at the main hose, the pipes, just have a look and make sure that there are no leakages. So this is just basic checks, and it's recommended that you do this every morning before you start your vehicle. So I'll just add by doing a tire check. So basically, you also just want to go around your vehicle and look at your tires in the morning before you embark on your day-to-day activities, just to check the tire pressure level. So I'm going to also show you some basic way of knowing that you need to replace your tires and that they are worn out. So for this, I'll just do this. So you'll come to your tires. So your tires have something we call tread wear indicator. So a tread wear indicator basically shows you when your treads are worn out to the point of you need to replace them. So tread wear indicators, if you look at this closely, you'll find these bumps in between your treads, right? In between your treads. So when your tread is thicker or above, let me get an angle so that you can see it. When your tread groove is thicker than this particular bump, then your tires are still okay. But when your treads wear out to the point whereby this groove and this particular lump are on the same level or below this tread wear indicator level, then you know that you need to replace your tires. Again, this was just a short video, and I'll take more time to show you that again. Yes. So again, for your tire pressure level, so most vehicles have on them the recommended tire pressure for the particular vehicle. So this one I checked does not have. but most of them have a sticker on the passenger door or the driver's door to show you the recommended tire pressure for that particular model of car. So again, I'll get a vehicle with that and show you how to take those readings. So thank you for watching. That was our video today, and happy motoring. Yes. Well, I was forgetting something very crucial, so let me just explain it. So after doing those checks, there's what we call the ATF, or the transmission fluid level. So if you're driving an automatic vehicle, most of them have a dipstick to show the automatic transmission fluid level, ATF level. And if you're driving modern CVTs, that is constantly variable transmission vehicles, most of them do not have a dipstick, but rather a drain, an oil level check plug. So I will explain that on a video. It's better to do it practically for you to understand. But for those with an automatic transmission vehicle, you'll find, like for this vehicle, we got that was a dipstick for the engine level. Then below here we have this particular knob for the automatic transmission fluid, or ATF fluid level. Well, this is something I just want to mention, especially for Mercedes-Benz owners. In modern Mercedes-Benzes, you'll find that the engine oil dipstick is somewhere here. It is next to the ATF level. For example, if you have an M112 engine, that's a V6 Mercedes engine, you'll find that the engine level, or the engine dipstick, and the ATF fluid level are close to each other. So one will be in black here and the other one will be in red here. Please don't confuse the two. The one towards the firewall would be the ATF level, and the first one towards front of the engine, which will probably be in red, would be the engine oil level. Again, just to mention, you'll find that most modern Mercedes-Benzes don't have this dipstick. They don't have a dipstick, either for the engine or for the transmission, because it's very funny. It's a very funny story, because vehicle manufacturers have realized that owners don't check these things. So they are like, why do I need to put a dipstick where an owner won't check? So they leave the dipsticks for the vehicle dealers, so that when you take your vehicle at the dealership, they are the ones with the dipstick. You'll just get a cover. Like this is also just a cover. There's no particular dipstick. This is just a cover. But you can go to a Mercedes-Benz dealership and buy that particular dipstick for your own use. But since I know you won't be checking the level, let the car dealers have them and check for you when you take the vehicle. So as I was saying, modern Mercedes-Benzes don't have this, even for the engine. What you'll find is that the vehicle has an engine oil and transmission fluid sensors. So you will be able to check your transmission and engine level from inside the car. And there's a procedure for every for most model of cars. So modern vehicle manufacturers, especially from the UK, for example, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, some Volvos, do not have a dipstick, in that they don't have the physical dipstick. But you can be able to check the engine level from inside the car, from the instrument cluster. So there's a procedure for you to check that level, and so you don't need a physical, a physical dipstick per se. So again, make sure you check on that, and and yes, again, thank you for staying tuned. I try to make my videos as simple and as short and as practical as possible, so that most of us can relate. That's why they are very raw and very, let me call it, very simple, because I want to be as practical and as simple, so that as many people as possible can understand and follow. Yeah, right? So again, thanks for watching. It was basically a summary of a simple vehicle check. We shall do videos in future to particularly concentrate on a particular session or a particular kind of system, so that you understand it deeply. But as I understand, most of our motorists, we really don't want to get that deeper technical expertise to understand our systems, but we want at least that basic knowledge on how to follow on preventive maintenance and particular vehicle repairs, as we take it to our mechanics to do the complicated jobs. Again, these are just basic simple tests that you can do, but if you don't understand any of them, you can always inbox us and ask us on more, and also ask your particular mechanic to do the major parts and the major jobs. So thanks again for watching. Stay tuned. Please make sure that you subscribe, like our videos, share them with your groups and friends, so that we can reach as many people as possible. Drop your comments at the comment section, so that you can advise us on what you want us to share with you. Again, stay tuned, and thank you for keeping it here. My name is Charles the Mechanic. Happy motoring.